Look at that. When it starts blonding like this, all that bark's coming off from woodpeckers, it's definitely dying if you look all the way up. The emerald ash borer is alive and well inside this puppy. Hey, I'm in the woodyard. My mic wasn't working. I'm doing a voiceover. Hey, there's a tree down. Here we go. So we had a big rainy windstorm about a week ago, and this tree blew down. This is a tree I use a lot in my photography for a background or for shade, and it's a bad thing that it went down, and it almost fell right on top of my wood pile that I use for a background. You can see it just missed it. It tipped over, kind of uprooted, so I've got some work to do because it's in the way, and I use this area a lot for photography, so I need to get it cleaned up, and it is on my list. It is a tree that was dying anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but still didn't want it to go down. Over the years, it has gradually leaned more and more and more, like box elders do, because that's what it is. They're not a very good tree as far as the edges. If you look behind me, you can see all those curved trees. Those are all box elders. That's kind of what was there on the property when I moved in. So anyway, this whole thing's got to be cut up, and it's going to be a big job, and it's on my list to do, and it's going to get done real soon. But today, I have a bumper crop of dandelions, and I need to get this puppy started. I opened up the hood and looked inside, and look at that. The mice have moved in, so I have to take that cover off and clean that out. Also, my tires were very low. They weren't flat, but low. And my battery was dead because I forgot to disconnect it last fall. So luckily, I have something that somebody sent me like a month ago. It's a little unit that is a power pack. It's got a tire inflator, and it's called a Loki Thor. Kind of like Loki Thor. There's a little unit that's a power pack that I can use for charging. There is one that has a washer in it. It's got like a pump, so you can pump water out of a creek or whatever. It's got a little power pack you can pull out. Jump starter, jumper cables. There's hoses. There's a tire inflator with a hose. So I've been wanting to get one of these, and the company got a hold of me and said, "Hey, would you like one?" I said, "Heck yeah, I can use that." So they sent it to me, and I've had it for over a month now. And they asked me the other day, "Hey, what's happening?" I said, "Well, I kind of been waiting for the right time, and this is it." There is the hose for inflating the tires I'm going to be using. There is a hose that you can use for spraying water, and there's an intake hose in the way in the back corner there on the left that you can suck water out of a bucket or a creek or whatever. But yeah, it's a nice little unit, and I haven't used it yet, so this would be a real good test for it. It's something that I could keep in the truck and I can use often. So there's the jumpers, and it also has a USB port, USB-C, so you can charge stuff that way. You can't see it's flickering. It's fully charged, and I believe it is something that I can use whether for a jumper or for a power pack, and I'm going to be using it to start up my tractor. That is the connector for the air hose, so I can plug that in. That little power thing comes out of there, and you can put it into a charger. And then the other power pack in the back, oh, it's got a light too. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I forgot that it had the light. I think they both have a light on it. So a neat little unit, and I will be using that. Another company sent me one. I haven't been able to do video on it yet, but this one I've had longer, so I thought it was time to do it, and it's something that I actually can use. Real handy to have. So this other one is the one that's got the pump on it for the water. It also has jumpers, a place where you can plug the jumper cables into it. So it's pretty cool. It also has a little air pump thing. Right there's where the jumper cords go into. And that's where the hose hooks up, so you can put it into a bucket of water or into a creek or a pond or lake, whatever, and you can pump water with it to where you want it to go. And it says right there, there's 2.4 gallons per minute, 200 psi on the pump for pumping up inflating tires and things. And there's the light on the back. I didn't even know it was there till I turned it around. I think I had to turn it on, and then I can turn the light on. Come on, push the button, mister. Come on, there we go. Figured it out. Oh, and it's got all kinds of different settings on it. And actually, that's in bright sunlight, and it's a really bright light, so that's going to be a handy little unit to keep in my truck and my little gear bag. I have a gear bag that has, you know, tools, basic tools and things, and then I also have a tote in the back that I keep like a safety vest, extra gloves, extra coat, extra hoodie, extra shirts, extra socks, the essentials, you know, a roll of toilet paper, stuff that you gotta have, that, you know, stuff that you just, in an emergency, you're glad you got it. So I have a tote I keep in my truck, and that's where that thing is gonna be all the time. So it's gonna be kind of cool to have. So here we are at the lawnmower. I'm gonna check the tire pressure. I pushed on the tires. I don't know if I did it right here. I can't remember, but I pushed on them. They felt very soft. So I got my pressure gauge. Oh yeah, there I'm going pushing on them, and they feel really soft. There's not much air in there. I mean, it's probably not terrible. You're supposed to run 10 pounds, 10 psi, and when I checked it with the gauge, one of the tires read like 5 pounds. One said like 8 pounds, and the other one, other two of them didn't even register. It probably was good enough for riding around on, but not great. So this is the first time I'm using this, so I'm gonna hook it up to the lawnmower tires here, and we're gonna pump it up. And it has a reading. It's hard to see because of the digital here, but it's 0.5. That's what the pressure going in is, and I think it goes up to, if I remember it was like 2.5 psi or something like that. And it just keeps increasing. It increases the pressure, and once it gets to the full amount that's going into it, it stabilizes and it goes up to 200 psi. It didn't take long at all for these to inflate. It literally was like maybe 30 seconds, and I had the tires inflated, so worked out pretty good. So right here is where I discovered that my mic wasn't working, and then I got it working again here. So from now on, the talking will be live, not Memorex. Here we go. I'm gonna go a little longer, then I'm gonna check the tire pressure. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and give it a check. Let's see what we got here. It says here about 12 pounds, so I'm just a little bit over. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at 12 pounds. So that should be good. Let's go do the other one and turn on the pump. Handy little unit. This will be nice to have in the truck. There we go. I think that one's good. Let's give this one a check and see what she says. Yeah, it's just a hair over 10, so I think we're good on this one now too. Put the cap back on and go check out the fronts. Okay, so I checked this front and it's real low. It might be 5 pounds if that. So we're gonna throw some air in this one now. All right, that one's got plenty of air. I'm just gonna check this one and see what she says. Ooh, got too much. I got about 15, 16, something like that. Better take a little bit out. Feels really hard. There we go, just a hair over 10. That's good. All right, on to the next one. Okay, now I'm on the right front, and I checked this one. It won't even register. Nothing happens, and it's soft. So we're gonna slap some air into this one. Fronts don't take very long. It's already getting hard. This little pump actually is pretty quick. Not bad, because what's nice about these little units is you can keep them in your vehicle, and you don't have to go get a big air compressor or take your implement, whatever it is, your tractor, whatever, and take it up to a building and hook up your air compressor. That already feels good. Turn that off. I think we're good. That was pretty fast. Yeah, for like bike tires and stuff, this will be nice. Here we are. Just I'll do that again. There you go. Just a hair over 10, and that's going to be good. Might be 12. I think that's good though. So I think that part's done. Now we got to clean out that rat's nest there. Actually, it's mice. I do not have my little socket set with me today. Otherwise, this would be really fast. And I don't have my little impact tool either. So I'm just going to do it the old school way and use a wrench, which is no big deal. Yes, a socket would be faster. This is the only John Deere that I own. I owned another John Deere rider, and I don't know why I got another John Deere. I think it was on sale or something a couple years ago when I bought this. My first one I had for, 16, 17 years, something like that. And it started having problems, and I thought, I'm just going to get rid of it. So I sold it, and actually did pretty good on it. I had a guy that wanted to buy one that needed some work, so he got a pretty good deal. I got rid of it. And what I made on the old one when I sold it, because it was a bigger mower, pretty much just paid for this one, so it was a good deal. So I got a brand new one. It's not a big tractor by any means. I don't know even what it is here. It's a small guy, E120, whatever that means. Small. All right, look at the goodies. Look at the goodies. Hopefully no one's home. Thought I felt something moving in there. No, I didn't. Pretty common, from what I know, that when you leave stuff sit, whether it's in a storage shed or outside, even in your garage, whatever, it's pretty easy for the mice to invade. I got a friend who keeps his lawnmower at his cabin, and every spring when he goes in there, the same area is filled with corn, because he stores corn and bird seed and stuff, and sunflower seeds for feeding the birds. It's always full. So we'll get this all cleaned out here and put the cover back on, and then we can get it jump started and get going. You don't have to get this perfect. When I start it up, it'll blow right out of here. There's one year I forgot, and I started it up, forgot to look, and this stuff just flew everywhere. And by the time I realized it, it was pretty much all blown out. I just thought I should get it out this year. There we go. I got it tight, and then the whole thing started to turn, and a mouse went running right across there and ran into the log. So I think I just evicted him, and I might have to set some traps. And cause I usually park the lawnmower back here, and no, I don't have a shed to park it in. I've had my mowers just sit outside. I throw a tarp over it in the wintertime, and when I'm not using it, we got a tarp right there. We just throw it over the top of it. It just sits back here. It's a lawnmower. It's not the family heirlooms. It's a lawnmower. All right, so we'll get back to tightening here. Okay, so I got the mouse nest taken out. We're gonna hook up the terminals here. Don't know what I'm supposed to do, if it's supposed to be positive then negative, but I just slapped it on there, I think. There we go. I think that'll stay there. That should be good. Let's see if we can get her started. My 2 hours of riding in circles, harvesting my bumper crop of dandelions is done. I got all the mowing done, and I was just looking at the tree I have to cut up here, this one that came down. It looks like at least a half a day job. Not gonna happen today, but I do have some other things I want to show you. We got a couple other trees that are ash trees that are dead up front, and I picked up branches for about an hour from all the trees that lost, branches that were dead and stuff. A lot of the birch trees, the branches were very dead underneath, and a lot of those broke off, and I broke a whole bunch more off. I'll show you over here. So in this area over here, I have some yellow birch or river birch, and there's a lot of dead branches I broke off, and there was piles of them, and I threw them in the woods over there and cleaned all this up. So you got lots of spring cleaning to do, as you do on every property. It's just constant maintenance. And for those of you that want to know, yes, we're going to be selling the business, well, the building. This is the back side here. I got my trailer there. I'll show you up front. And the reason we're selling is that I've been doing photography for over 40 years, and I'm ready to be done. So here's an ash tree up front that I planted. Oh, I must have planted this at least 15 years ago. And as you can see, there's a few buds that are coming out on it, but mainly in the midsection, the top is all dead. And there's tons of woodpecker holes up in there. So I know the emerald ash borer is doing its thing in there. So that tree's got to come down, and that's on my list of to-dos. And there's another one up over here I'll show you. Here's the front of my building. If you want to buy it, it's for sale. It's about a 6,000 square foot building, like 5,800, something like that. I don't know. There it is. And so I got lots of work to do. I got to trim some of these bushes back because they're getting really big. The sign is getting all blocked and everything there. And this is the other tree that's dead. This is also an ash tree. And if you look, there's a new sprout coming up in there. But there's very few buds up in there. I can see it's dying off. And I'm going to go up there and get close so you can see all the woodpecker holes. I just got to get up in here, find a spot where I can get inside here. We'll go in right through here, I think. Oh, another robin nest. And if you look here, look at that. When it starts blonding like this, all that bark's coming off from woodpeckers, it's definitely dying. If you look all the way up, you can see how dead it is. They're starting to peck away, and there's some shoots coming up that have been coming up for a couple of years here now, because it just has been dying. So this has got to come down. But the other one over here, and these are not white ash. These are, I think, called plum ash. They're ornamental ones, because in the fall they turn kind of a real, kind of like a maroon color. This one is still alive, lots of buds on it. However, this one also is starting to get lots of woodpecker holes. So the emerald ash borer is alive and well inside this puppy. So more than likely this will be done and dead by next year. So this is probably its last year, and I'll have to cut this one down too. So a lot of the ash trees are dying everywhere, as you know. So my harvest is complete out here. The dandelions have been harvested. I have a total of about, I think I had 3.97 acres, and we mow probably about 2 of it, maybe a little over 2. I don't know, this whole area over to the trees over there, I planted those when we moved in. It's my little Christmas tree plantation over there. This is where the Woodyard used to be years ago, 2 years ago. For those of you that are new to the channel, this was solid wood in here, and I used about an acre, maybe not quite an acre, to store all the wood in, and it was time for us to move for several reasons. And so I own into the woods. There's a creek in the back there, and I own over to those trees. While I was mowing, FedEx came, and a special delivery came to me. It comes every couple weeks from a very special person. Sends us a care package for the cats. There it is, a box from Chewy came from Anne Marie. You see her comments on the channel all the time. She sends a box every 2 weeks of cans and a bag of food for the cats, and pretty much that's what the cats need. Once in a while I have to buy an extra bag or so, but it pretty much feeds all the cats. Now when it comes to the cats, people ask all the time, how are they doing? Cats are fine, some of them. There have been some casualties out on the highway. We did have one that died there in the winter. We don't know why. We just found it this spring. They're barn cats. That happens. And We had, at the total highest population, we had like 23 at one time. Yeah, 23. And now it's down to maybe 8 or 9. Now we've given away probably, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe 8 kittens, and the people that wanted one. So some of them went to new homes. We had 4, maybe 5 that got run over on the highway because they're free roam. They just go wherever they want. And so that happened. So I'm at the back of the property. You can see here's the tree I got to take down. This is wood that I use for a prop in the background. This is the old truck. Everybody wants to know it's a 1940 Chevy. No, there's no engine. No, it doesn't run. No, there's no transmission. No, I don't plan on doing anything with it. You can also see a bunch of branches broke off. I got to get this all cleaned up. And then back here where I do a lot of photography, here's the creek in the back. And we've got flowers planted all through here. There's all flowers along through here. And this is part of the creek. And then back here, it's in the woods. And I do own right to the edge of the creek or the middle of it or whatever. So there it is, the babbling brook. And it's worked really well over the years. And so, yeah, it's one of the reasons I bought the property is because the creek was here. Creek, crook, whatever you want to call it. And so this is the area I do all the photography. And so I'm going out to the farm and I'm going to do some other work. And you're going to see that tomorrow on tomorrow's video. And I got something to show you. When I was at the Hoosier Hysteria, there was a guy there that brought some wood all the way from Oregon. Or Oregon. And some kinds I've never seen before, and he showed it to me. So we're gonna take you there. I'm gonna go there now, and I've got a whole bunch of wood that I've been saving to show you varieties of kinds of wood, kind of wood identification. And there's some new ones I've never seen that he brought, and I'm gonna show you them and go over some of the other wood and kind of do a little tutorial of wood, because I've got some aged wood that's hard to identify. We're gonna show you some of the things. So that's coming on tomorrow's video, 5:30 a.m. I'll be there, you should be there. Right now, go watch all the other videos on my channel. There's 1,400 waiting for you right now. Good night, Irene.